Hello and welcome back to Worlds Together Builders. I'm Terrain Noob, and in this episode we're going to start taking a look at the characters in our world. We're going to leave the maps behind for now. I did finish the political map, so we'll take a look at that real quick. I'll show you what's going on there. But we are going to start taking a look at some of our characters, and the first character up today is going to be our main Year Zero character, the one who changed the world, Trannit. So I am going to go into the Explore view in World Anvil. This view is in a paid version. You can't get to this in the free version. So if you're doing this in the free version, you can just go to create and then go to character here. We'll get mostly the same place, but I like this Explore view. They've added this. It's easier to kind of navigate around the different stuff, but I want to go in here and show you the atlas. So here we are in the full map of Coimbar, and we'll take a look at the political map. I finished this up, so this is just the export from GIMP that we were working on, and you can see I've got all the countries, territories named, the areas named, and we've got the nice breakdowns of where things are and the stuff. The area that we're going to be mostly concerned with initially is the Kingdom of Caer Brenneth here. This is where this is going to be kind of our Sword Coasty area. This is our main place. This is the what I've decided to call the Wakened Lands because of what happens in our Year Zero story. And then we've got neighbors Crate Harrow, Lindell Barrows, Westmont, Bryce Dunning, Longmark, and Eastreach. And so this is going to be the areas that we're primarily going to be concentrating on first as we're building things up, particularly the Kingdom of Caer Brenneth. So that is our world and how things are going to start shaping out. So let's go take a look at characters. Now I started a bit on Trannit, but let's take a look more at him. So we had talked about this Year Zero event, this world-changing event that had to do with a necromancer named Trannit. And so now we're going to start fleshing him out and finding out more about him, what makes him tick, what happened, why he got to this point. So I've done a little bit of work, but let's take a read and find out some about Trannit, and then we'll explore some more about him. So Trannit was the first necromancer on the world of Coimbar. His hunger for power evolved from a lack of power as a child. He was sickly and small, the constant target of other children's tortures. With no father figure in his life to guide him or train him in the martial arts, he sought power in the magical arts. Joining the wizard's augury, he threw himself into his studies and became one of the most powerful wizards in the organization. Unsatisfied, he became drawn to dark, forgotten magics that promised immense power. The wizard's augury chastised and censured Trannit for his work. Crestfallen, Trannit left to discover these secrets on his own. He was visited by a demon named Malagrim, who told him that it was possible to overcome death itself and raise an army of past heroes to fight for him. So this is kind of where we stand with our story of Trannit. These are things that my unconscious brain had been working through for a long time as I was coming up with these campaign ideas. So, one trick that I used here for naming, Trannit just kind of popped into my head, but when you're doing villains or bad characters and you're stuck for names, using the prefixes MAL or BEL and then putting stuff after that are a good way to kind of break out of that trap. MAL means bad, like malodorous or malingering or things like that. And BEL is is the same root as the word bellicose, which kind of means aggressive aggressive is kind of the best word. So if you use those two roots, you don't want to overuse them, but it's a good trick to kind of get out of a naming conundrum on bad characters, on evil characters. So Trannit is going to be kind of our legendary world-changing character. And Malagrim, we'll get to him soon, but he's going to be kind of important in the world too, because he's going to be kind of the recurring evil that comes through, and causes a lot of the strife and the tension in the world, as a kind of a background player. So we're going to go into the edit of this, and this is the same edit you'd get to from just the regular character create, and we're going to see what else we can discover about Trannit. So he's visited by this demon named Malagrim, and these little shortcuts here, if you haven't used World Anvil before, these are things that you can put in to basically have a marker that say I need to make an article about these later. So and then they will hyperlink to them once you get the articles created. So it actually puts it in your to-do list, which is nice. So you can see if I go to my to-do list, there's Malagrim and the Wizard's Augury. It tells me where it came from. And then I can start creating these, but I don't have to create them ahead of time. And to link them, I can just go ahead and link them from there. So let's get back to Trannit. That was just a little aside to show you some of the cool things that you can do with World Anvil. I really love this program. It's really nice. So that is not what I meant to push. So Malagrim starts revealing stuff to Trannit, and Malagrim will discover has his own backstory and his own motivations, but for Trannit, that's not really important. So how does Malagrim do this? So he reveals to Trannit that there are 4 powerful objects scattered throughout the world that will allow him to perform a ritual that will raise that will what? Kind of like this, 4 objects. So now we've got some objects, some artifacts, objects that we can create. Spell that out. I think it just looks better than putting numbers. So he's got these objects throughout the world that will allow him to perform a ritual that will let's just say dark ritual. We don't want this sentence running on forever. The ritual will raise and bind all the world's dead to Trannit. So Trannit's pursuing this ultimate power and now has some designs to take over not only the Wizard's Augury, but essentially the world. We shall take over the world. And he's being kind of goaded on by this Malagrim demon. So Trannit sets out to locate these objects. All right. unfortunately, Malagram doesn't know the exact locations of these objects. So Trannit sets out to locate them. He spends many years tracking clues to the objects' whereabouts. All right, so now I'm thinking, now he's also had to learn to tap into these necromantic powers to extend his own life, because he doesn't have enough time to track these objects down for his ultimate goal. So, running out of time to locate the objects, Trannit must turn some attention to learning the necromantic secrets to extend his own life. He fills a diary. No, he fills a notebook with all of the clues and secrets he has discovered over his many long years. So now we've got Trannit's notebook is going to be an important thing, and I've forgotten what type of thing is this. Is it called a document? I think so. We'll go with that. We'll fix it later if we need to. So this is going to create our link verbiage here. So Trannit's notebook later becomes the source of necromantic knowledge, and will later be sought by other mages seeking dark power. All right, so and some of this we may want to rearrange and rework the notebook, but I'm just trying to get the ideas out here. And so this is how I go through writing, just taking small ideas and dumping them out, and then coming back you can rearrange them. So this is kind of the little vignette of Trannit. So now let's go see if we can fill in some of the details about him. So he is going to be if we look at the RPG NPCs from the Great GM, and if you haven't seen the Great GM, I highly encourage you to watch that. His YouTube channel. He has a lot of great stuff about world building and world building with World Anvil. So he's going to be a nemesis or villain. I mean, he's kind of a main bad guy, and he is a kind of a plotter mentor type character. Is he going to have any kind of other titles throughout the years? I think maybe the Dark. Trannit the Dark. We'll go with that. For now. And does he have any quirks? Let's see. Does he have any quirks? We'll come back to that as we think him through. His desires: to have absolute power over death and magic. To rule all the kingdoms of the world with absolute power. So power is his desire. Facial features. So his face is gaunt and long. He has a very thin and long nose, and his eyes are much younger than his advanced age. What color are his eyes? His pale blue. Yeah, I like the pale blue. Speech patterns. His voice is it soft? No, if he's going for power. But he's really, really old, so his voice is soft and powerful. It's still powerful, but it's soft. His speech patterns almost remind listeners of a snake slithering through the underbrush. What does that mean? I don't know. It's just kind of a winding, slow, deliberate, snaky pattern that is very thought out and cunning. He doesn't ever raise his voice, but it's obvious that he has very much the command of all the powers in the dark magics. His body is frail and thin. He is slightly hunched. And leans quite heavily on a walking stick. A walking staff. Call it a staff. I mean, honestly. Emotional state? Calm anger. And a restless... How can you be calm and restless? Well, let's see. Let's try this again. He is calm. He's outwardly calm. But restless for power and feeling trapped by his mortal body and the lack of time to complete his goals. Oh, so when you look on him, he's scary. He's what else is he? He is gray and somber. He's but he oozes confidence, self-confidence. Is there a sound associated with him? We'll go smell. He smells of mothballs and death. No, that's a little too much. Is there a smell? Let's bypass that for the moment. His skin is leathery and cold. He never sweats. And so he doesn't have oils and stuff in his skin very much, it seems, and so he feels very dry. It's kind of gross. And we'll bypass this for now. Biography, we've already kind of written this. We don't need that again. So, and we can come back to do some of this NPC stuff later too. This is just to start getting a sense of him. So, year of birth. Well, let's see. When he does this is year 0. So, we want him, let's say, what race is he? Is he, in fact, a human? I think he's going to be human. So, we want him to be really, really old. Well, at the point of the ritual, the year 0 ritual, let's say that he is 160 years old, so he would have been born at -160, and we'll get back to that later. Year of death, year 0. And circumstances of death, the powerful ritualistic magic explosion. We'll get to the details of that. So his eyes are pale blue. His skin color is almost translucent because it's so thin and old. Hair. Let's see. So his hair could be say white and wispy. Is that how you spell that? Sure. And let's see, we're gonna make him human. Oh, I can't just type in here. We'll get back to species and stuff because I haven't made any races in here. So, that's a good start on Trannit, and we'll want to come back in and fill out some more stuff later. But for now, and you know, there's all kinds of things that we can come in and fill in here. And we will do that eventually. Lawful stupid, yeah. But for now, this gives us the base story of Trannit as a character, and he's not probably going to be an NPC in our campaign. What he's going to be is background and a world-changing character. So he's going to be more of a legend than an actual NPC. So we're going to save our changes. We're going to put Trannit to bed for now, and let's take a look at what we've got for him here. So this is kind of how things come out, and we'll have to start putting together a timeline so we can get dates and things. But it kind of gives you a nice layout of things for your characters. So next time, we're going to take a look at Malagrim and start examining what he's all about. Until then, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please give us a like and a subscription. We will see you next time on Worlds Together Builders. Bye-bye.